Hey, lighting fans out there, this is David Henry from LearnStageLighting.com, and in this video, I want to show you how to use the LightShark console, whether it be an LS1 or an LS Core or whatever they come up with in the future, to program church lighting. All right, so when I think about programming church lighting, there's a couple things that are really important to me. Number one is I want things to look good. I want to do a good job. I want to make sure I'm following the mood that's being set from the stage throughout the service. And then secondly, I want to make sure that a volunteer can easily play these looks back on stage in a way that's predictable and in a way that's simple, so that I can teach somebody, train somebody up to be a volunteer pretty quick, and then hand them the keys to the console and not have to worry about the lighting being wrong. Because in worship, there is nothing more distracting than when the lighting's wrong, when it's not what you intended it to be, especially if it's way off. So how do we do that? Well, in this video, I want to show you how I like to lay out the LightShark for church lighting. So the first method that I have is if you have a fairly simple service or you're just getting started with lighting, I like to call this the whole service method of lighting. And this can work on any console, but I'm going to show you here in the LightShark. And what I'm just going to do is go for an example here. And maybe I select all my fixtures and I'm going to press find here on the LightShark. There's a hard button on the LS1 if you have one. And then I'm going to go ahead to my palettes here, to position, and to select only the moving lights here. Point them all at the stage, and then take the Mac auras back here, do the rear truss fixtures, and let's put those in the sky and take these guys to my we'll do the cross stage look. Okay, cool. So I've already set this stuff up, and I've got other videos that'll teach you how to do this, as well as the official LightShark videos that I was able to help those guys out with. And so say this is my walk-in look. I'm going to go here. I really should give the thing some colors, shouldn't I? So I'll go to my color palettes here, and we'll just do a good, walk-in blue. Perfect. So whole service method, all I'm going to do is record this to a new cue list. Boom. Now we've got our walk-in blue. I'm going to clear out my programmer. I'm going to press play and bring my fader up. I'm doing that here on my LS1, and I'm good to go. Then I'm just going to go ahead and make a few more cues. So I'm going to go here, maybe I select all my lights, and, maybe the first song, we just turn these guys yellow and keep that blue. So now we can go ahead and, there's different ways to decide what to do. At the very minimum, I want you, if you're, just starting with lighting, to just program out a look for your walk-in and walk-out. I want you to program a look for your music, your worship segment, and then a look for the sermon segment. And that's it. If you're just starting out, just do that. If you have a little bit, more going on and you worked with lighting for a while, you've got time to program, then I want you to go ahead and in this whole service method, program one look, one cue for each song that you do and bring those in. So I'm just going to go here and we'll call this one music. And then I'm going to go ahead and select my lights and make a sermon look. So let's pull in green here, but not in the overhead. So we'll go amber there. We'll turn those green. Maybe we'll turn those blue or cyan. All right, not the best piece of art ever, but you know what? It works. And we'll take these guys and we'll point them at the stage here. Awesome. So everybody's pointing at the stage except for this front truss guys, which I'm going to point at the stage now. Awesome. So then we've got, our sermon look. Boom. And then we're good to go. So we basically got, if I clear out here, we've basically got, our walk in, walk out, which I can press play on my LS1 to get that guy. Okay. Bring down my other faders. Then we can crossfade to our music look. So we can add that in. And then we can crossfade to our sermon look. Perfect. You can pull that out to go back to music or press play. And we can also pull that out and go back to the walk in, walk out. So that's the simplest at its core, this whole service method. And this works great, if you want something simple. If you have an LS1, I would definitely run it on these buttons at the bottom here. But if you're just on an LS core, so this is Q11, 12, and 13, I can go here to my Q list and I could name them if I want, or I can name them here in the executor window, which by default looks like this. Press edit. I can then go ahead and, pull these guys in just literally by copying Q list 10, Q list 10, copy, place where it goes, 11, copy, place where it goes, 12, copy, place where it goes. And so with this version, I can literally just hold my mouse or my finger if I'm on a tablet here, and I get the set window that pops up, then I can give it a name. So we'll call it walk in and out. Call this one music. I'm going to pull my faders down. Call this one sermon. And so then I can literally go ahead and just click each one of these once I'm out of edit mode. And then the console is going to fire them, which is really handy. So I can literally just get each one individually here on its own. Perfect. So that gives you some options there at the simplest level, just really being able to just have a volunteer click walk in, walk out, music, sermon, put this on a tablet for them, and they're ready to rock whether you're on an LS core or an LS1. Now, if you want to get a little more complex, then I like to use kind of what I call the songs and the colors methods. And so what this entails is, I just go ahead and what I like to do is literally program out in my executor window, put a bunch of cues in this window for colors and also, or for songs. And so this is kind of where you need to make a decision. It's like you can program a bunch of color schemes. And this is what I like to do. Maybe if I'm programming an install and I'm going to hand it off to the church and they're not going to program for a while, then you give them a bunch of color schemes. And then the week of, whether you're the worship pastor, the tech director, the lighting volunteer, you just go in and say, hey, for this song, these colors, for this song, these colors, for these songs, these colors, etc. And then you can even go ahead and arrange them here in the executor buttons so that it goes in order. And you can, copy, because when I'm in this edit mode for the executors, I can literally copy an existing cue list and put it in a new place. I can copy it, put it on the buttons here and give it a name for each song. And so it makes it really easy, in this, when you get used to it and you've done it a couple times, this is quick. You can do this, 15, 20 minutes, you're in, you're out. You've got your whole thing programmed for the week. So, you can do that with individual color schemes. You could also do it with individual cue lists for each song. So maybe you go back here on your main faders on your console, if you've got an LS1 or if you've got a MIDI controller hooked up to an LS core, and you literally arrange an order, walk in, walk out, and you could have the executor window open maybe on one tablet and be able to see these on another, or just label them with tape on the board itself. And so you can have walk in, and then you can have, song one, whatever that is. I'm not going to use specific song names here, though I think about using songs from the 90s sometimes, because as worship music is, if I reference this year's kind of more popular songs, then next year everybody would be like, oh, that was so last year. But regardless, I could use hymns but songs from the 90s are more fun. Let's do that. So, we go to shout to the Lord here, and then, Lord, I lift your name on high. And then maybe we go to, I don't know. But anyways, you go to, what was that song? The Days of Elijah. And then you go to your sermon, and then you go to another song, and then maybe you go to another song, and then you go to walk out. And so, that's another great way to lay things out for volunteers, because you can rearrange, you can use the move function to move these different cue lists around from week to week. We can see there, I just moved what was Q11. It was here. Now it's there. I had it selected. Now I can do this. I clicked it. I press move. I click where I want it to go. And so from week to week, you can literally scroll through here, and you can do 30 faders. You can do pages on the side here to be able to have a bunch of different cue lists in here. And then week to week, you can assign them in order so your volunteer can play them back easily. Now, the last method that I'm going to show you here and kind of talk through in the LightShark is called punting. Okay, so punting is literally running a show totally live and on the fly. Okay, just like you're running live music or something like that for a band you don't know. It's literally running things totally on the fly. So I'm going to go load my punt show and then show you that right here. All right, so here I've basically got a punting based show where we're going to run everything literally on the fly. So basically, you know, you can do hybrids of these different models. Like, for example, this is totally on the fly. This is like, you know, you've got a lighting operator. Maybe it's yourself. Maybe it's one of your volunteers who's really good. And they're just going to follow along to the music and make changes manually on the lights. Okay. Now, you can do hybrid approaches here. So you could go ahead with this and use a punt page like this, and also still have on your executors some looks that start each song. You can totally have that. So, you know, this isn't necessarily a rigid thing, but if you are running things live, you know, doing a punt page, you've got a band night at your church or a night of worship or something like that. You know, here my first fader, I've got the intensity of my front lights. They're a little hard to see right now because I haven't put them in any position yet. Then the intensity of my back wash lights, my back spots, my back pars, and my second set of back pars. Awesome. So we'll turn all those on. Then on my executors here in the LightShark, I've got in the first row different positions where the front lights are always pointed at the stage. Again, you know, this is just an example on an example rig. You know, your specific rig may be a little different. We'll go here. Then we've got colors across the whole rig, so we can change those real quick here. You know, change individual colors on only some of the fixtures. Try not to make something totally ugly like red and green. Well, let's do red and blue. That's much better. And then, you know, for our spots, we can add in gobos. So I can do a gobo right here. You know, maybe I add in a gobo and then I decide I want to change the color. Cool, to cyan. Awesome. So that's basically, you know, how I choose my colors. I've got rows. You know, this is all color. So this is all the fixtures in the color. This is fixture type 1, fixture type 2, fixture type 3. So I can literally, you know, dial in, you know, this fixture type red, this one white, this one magenta, and they're all changing. There's a lot of options with what you can do here, you know, setting gobos, you know, doing no gobo, etc. But then what I also want to show you is that here in my palettes, I've also then got the ability to have on this page, you know, an intensity effect. And in the LightShark, intensity is HTP, or highest takes precedence. And so, you know, here, that effect I run across all my lights. But if I have the faders up, like here, I'll bring up fader 1, 2, and 3, then only the lights on my 4th and 5th fader, these pars, are going to see the effect. I can bring the pars all the way up, bring down the spots, and only they're going to see the effect. I can bring them to 50%, etc. So there's really a lot of options here. Next, I've got a pan effect. So that's the moving heads panning or moving side to side. Then I've got, after that, a tilt effect. And the cool thing about these two effects is that when we do combine them together, we get a kind of traditional movement look. But we can also, just with two faders, you know, maybe bring the pan down real low and the tilt up real high and get something that's more tilt centered, but still moves side to side a bit. We can switch it the other way, get something that's really pan wise. And as we, you know, move it up, again, there's a punt page that I made for band lighting, but it works in the church world too. You know, as we bring the faders really low, it happens really slow. As we bring it up, it happens really fast. Also, the last two faders I have here, 9 and 10, are my zoom faders. So I can zoom my auras, I can zoom my spot fixtures, and really get a lot of different looks as I, you know, work with these different faders and then maybe change the position, you know, change the zooms on the two of them between different songs, between different looks, you know, change all of my lights to a color like here. I will make them all blue and turn these other ones off. But then maybe I could, you know, just sneak in one fixture, be in a different color, sneak in another fixture at a different color, And so you can really see how, something like this, even just in a short explanation like this, can really, punting live can give you that ultimate flexibility. And in the church world, if you've got a dedicated operator every week, or you've got, just a couple people, but they're all, really up to speed on lighting, then you could literally have them run it live, punt it like this every week off of, a LightShark LS1 or a MIDI controller or an OSC interface. And they could run things every week and you wouldn't have to program anything week to week. You wouldn't have to rearrange any songs or anything like that. So that's the basic gist of all of this. I know I moved pretty quick, especially through that last segment on punting. And so what I want to do here is let you know that I've got more stuff that I want to give you. So I want to give you, if you want to enter your email on Learn Stage Lighting, I'm going to go send you some of the videos on the LightShark that are inside of Learn Stage Lighting Labs. Now, Learn Stage Lighting Labs is a paid membership community that I have, but I want to give you some of the tutorials that I have in there on effects and on editing cues with the LightShark so that it can help you learn to program with the LightShark better. And there also might be a special surprise or two in the emails I send you, so you don't want to miss out on that. Also, if you're new here, if you just found this because you have a LightShark or want to learn more about it and you don't know anything about Learn Stage Lighting, then make sure you hit subscribe here on YouTube and hit that bell to get the latest videos. Awesome. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you again soon.